Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Drawn to Justice. My name is Annie. Let me draw your attention to this case of Annanias Mathe, which happened a while back. Annanias Mathe first came to South Africa in 1999 and had been committing crimes since he arrived in South Africa. Annanias Mathe was just doing break-ins and had not raped any of his victims since he had started doing break-ins. His first recorded case happened in 1999, which is the same year he arrived in Mzansi. So throughout the period of 1999 up to 2002, Annanias would be breaking into people's houses with a gun in one hand and a torch in another hand. With that, he would also poison their dogs in fear that the dogs would wake up their owners. He was just doing that to be on a safe side. Please note that in that 3 years, he was not raping any of his victims. On the 2nd of December 2003, Annanias Mathe broke into Tracy's house where Tracy was sleeping with her son in her bedroom, and when she woke up, she found that Annanias was in front of her. He told her to keep quiet and that he was going to rape her. As soon as Annanias started unzipping his pants, that was when Tracy decided to start fighting him by constantly kicking him. And as she was kicking him off, she mistakenly kicked his hand that had a gun in it. And that was when he fired 3 shots. As Tracy continued fighting for her life, that was when Annanias Mathe decided to drag her to the passage where the fight continued. Fortunately, there was an exit door by the passage and a security gate. Tracy then managed to push Annanias outside and quickly closed the security gate and locked. That was when Annanias started shouting, "Let me back in, let me back in." He's doing that while firing more shots inside the house. Tracy was still in so much shock she did not even realize that she was actually shot. That was when she decided to look down and then she discovered that she was covered in so much blood. She was shot 3 times in her upper body, in her left breast, in her arm, and in her right lung. In June 2003, Annanias Mathe committed his first rape. It was a 19-year-old woman from Northcliffe. He was then arrested 10 days after the incident, where he went out through bail but then got arrested again due to possession of properties that were stolen in another house. Annanias was granted bail again for the stolen properties, but then he continued to avoid trial by constantly running away. Mind you, at this time, they had not yet linked him to the rape of the 19-year-old girl, including the attempted rape of Tracy. In November 2005, Annanias Mathe was finally arrested for all the crimes he had been committing since the police had finally successfully linked him to all the rapes that he had been committing. Annanias Mathe was kept in a prison in Pretoria where he had been attempting to escape since he got arrested but was failing. On the 18th of November, that was when Annanias Mathe finally managed to escape. They said he did this by rubbing Vaseline all over his body, and he somehow slid through the cell bars, which was so tiny. Since Annanias' escape story was just not making sense, wardens of the prison were taken for questioning, and that was when they said that Annanias was a very small man and it was possible for him to escape. But it was later discovered that Annanias had bribed the wardens of the prison with a huge amount of money. That was when they uncuffed him and helped him escape, and then decided to rub Vaseline in prison butlers in order to create the evidence of his escape. Police officers then started looking for Annanias, and then they discovered that Annanias was born in a small village in Mozambique, and he was no ordinary criminal. He had been committing crimes even in Mozambique. That was when they decided to take their investigations to Mozambique as well, where policemen in Mozambique did not want to answer a lot of questions about Annanias since they had benefited so much financially from this criminal. That was when they decided to try and locate Annanias' home in Mozambique, and then they finally found his original home. They discovered that he had 2 wives and a mother, and he was building a whole mansion back home with the money that he had been stealing in South Africa. And they also discovered that Annanias had a nickname in Mozambique, and he was called a rat. That is because it is so difficult to pin a rat down, since he was always escaping every now and then every time they arrest him. And he was now South Africa's most wanted criminal. Another reason for going to Mozambique to conduct further investigations was because they were trying to find out who Annanias was, not just in South Africa, but also in Mozambique. And it happens that Annanias was a very wealthy man in Mozambique with 2 wives. Ananias' crime spree came to an end when he decided to come back to South Africa and continued to break into people's houses. He broke into a certain house where he left with their car. That was when the owner decided to track the car. Not just the police were chasing him this time around, helicopters were also chasing him. He then decided to go off-road, got off the car, and then ran straight into the bush. He was wearing a bright orange t-shirt. That was when he decided to take it off so that the helicopter would not be able to see his movement. Then he continued running until he got inside a certain house and locked himself inside the house. The police then kicked the door, searched the house, and then that was when they found Ananias and finally arrested him. As they were walking, Ananias then turned back, stabbed one of the policemen under his right eye. Regardless of him being stabbed, managed to take out the gun and shot Ananias 3 times, and then Ananias collapsed. They then took him to Tembisa Hospital for treatment. That was when they were tipped that around Tembisa Hospital there are people that are going to help him escape again. In January 2007, Ananias' trial began. Annanias Mathe received a 54-year sentence for 64 charges, including murder, housebreaking, rape, and robbery. Annanias Mathe had his own special cell and was always surrounded by prison wardens. Stay safe and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are now on 501 subscribers. Thank you so much. See you on the next episode. Bye.